Today we are choosing my November TBR. At the start of nearly every month this year, I have picked 5 prompts out of my TBR jar to guide my reading in that particular month. So this is the 10th month that I've done it because I didn't do it in March because of the Irish readathon. But this is my 10th month, which means I will pick out my 50th prompt. It's the second last time I'm gonna do it this year. And my December reading will skew very seasonal. Like I will try and read a lot of like wintry, Christmassy books in December. So my TBR jar reading will possibly try and like combine some like festive reading with that. So November is kind of the last month that is just kind of purely focused on what I pick out of the jar. I typically read around like 10 books per month. So picking out 5 prompts, that's like half of my reading for the month. Sometimes I end up doing it, sometimes I don't. Sun is actually setting, so I'm hoping that the prompts fall nicely for me and these will be ones that are relatively easy to pick off the shelves. It's a tricky thing about like filming in these like winter months is how early the sun sets. So the first prompt starts with an S. So a book title that starts with an S. Pretty straightforward. Prompt number 2. Both of these are prompts that my boyfriend's put in, and I find this such interesting phrasing from him. It's up and coming young author. I don't know if I'm qualified to make that assessment on who's up and coming and what is young. Giving me some real food for thought with that one. There are like hardly any prompts left in here now, but these are all prompts that my boyfriend's put in. This just says read a pretty book. Oh my god, I actually can't reach the bottom of the jar. Poetry, again, nice straightforward one. Again, this is another one that my boyfriend's put in. All of his prompts must have just been at the bottom of the jar, but really interestingly, it's read a seasonal book out of season. I have already done this exact prompt earlier in the year, but I wrote it. So this feels like a really specific sort of prompt and we've both put it in the jar. So I guess for reading a seasonal book out of season, I'll read like a summary book. Poetry is pretty straightforward. It starts with an S is really straightforward. Read a pretty book is straightforward. And then up and coming young author, I'll figure out what that means as I go. Let's start, I think, by picking a poetry book. So normally when I get a poetry prompt, it's really great because it means there's a guaranteed like short book on my TBR. But I actually only really had one option for poetry that I hadn't read yet, and that is the selected poems of W.H. Auden. So it is a chunkster, but it is still poetry, so I should read it like I guess pretty quickly, but some of these poems are quite long. So I feel like this is something that I'm gonna have to spread reading over like the entire month. I have read a little bit of Auden's poetry before and really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to reading more. It's just not normally what the poetry prompt brings to the TBR game. Starts with an S. Had a few options, but I've gone for Sad Girl Hours by Anna Zoe Kirk, which is a young adult female romance. Okay, seasonal book out of season. So I want something that's like summery. So this is The Summer Job by Lizzie Dent. So it is set in the summer. So reading this in November would be reading it out of season. I mean, a pretty book is just like my own feelings, right? I don't think I've got many books on my shelves that aren't pretty. I feel like I should probably go to my Afterlight shelves because those books are so beautiful. So I'm quickly gonna go grab one of those. So I have gone for The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. Now, I have read a couple of Emma Lord books before and I haven't really got on with them, but they were young adult romances and I think this one is an adult romance. And honestly, it is so pretty. Like, look at the cover and the edges. I'm sure it's got something like under the jacket. Yeah, like super pretty. And as I was looking at my shelves, I think I've spotted who I think the up and coming young author is. So I'm gonna read Everyone I Know Is Dying by Emily Slapper, and I think this is her debut novel, and having heard her speak about this book at an event, I think she's young. I mean, young and up and coming are both like subjective. So there we have it. That is my penultimate TBR jar video for the year. And this is what I'm going to be reading. Do let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books, what you thought of them. And if you want to let me know you're here but you don't have anything in particular to say, could you leave me some kind of like summary emoji in honor of that prompt? That is it for me today. I hope you're doing well and I'll speak to you in my next video.